All right, so just to demonstrate kind of what the issue is here, let me go ahead and turn this key off. And you can see all the instruments have shut off. And if you can hear it, the engine's still running. So the key is off, but the engine's still running. What is going on? Hey everybody, welcome to Tigner Adventures. My name is David, and if you haven't been following us, I am working on this 94 Holiday Rambler diesel pusher. And one of the interesting things that I'm having an issue with right now is for some reason the engine's not shutting off when you turn the key off. All right, so just to demonstrate kind of what the issue is here, let me go ahead and turn this key off. And you can see all the instruments have shut off. And if you can hear it, the engine's still running. So the key is off, but the engine's still running. What is going on? Diesel doesn't use spark plugs, so it's not sparking to ignite the diesel. The way that diesel works, it's all based on compression. So the only way it can shut the engine off is to shut the fuel off to the engine. And what happens is when I turn the key to the off position, all the gauges go off, but the engine just keeps running. And here's a picture of what the fuel shutoff looks like. And Lynn, the previous owner, replaced this just a couple years ago. And when we first started, it was working just fine. So we're gonna go back here in the back of the engine and kind of see what we can find out there. Well, okay, looking in here, that's the, I don't know if I can reach in there and touch it, but I'll show you. But anyway, this thing right here is not supposed to be down there. So that's why it's not shutting off. It's actually supposed to be mounted right here. So that's a little bit of a problem. Should have been bolted right there, and it's fallen out. So okay, gotta go grab some bolts and we can bolt that back in there. Well, I went to the hardware store and got a little assortment of bolts and nuts here. It looks like this thing has a nut on the back of the plate, so we got to look at this a little closer. So I've opened up the back compartment here that's under the bed, and you can see right down there I've taken that shutoff valve and I've moved it up, but it's supposed to sit on those two bolts. And if I feel behind there, it feels like it's got nuts on there, so not sure what the deal is there, but I'm gonna see if I've got a bolt that will fit it. Oh, it looks like that one over there looks plugged up, or it's just not there. So I might have to drill those two out. Well, it looks like that there's a bracket there, and maybe we can get that bracket off. So I think we'll try taking that off first. Hopefully we don't break the bolts, but that'd make it a lot easier fixing the other piece of it. Well, we got the plate off. It's just the three bolts. They were just snug tight. They weren't even that tight, but you can see this one bolt just broke off right here. So we're gonna have to take that out of there and then see if we can find something that fits these nuts. I think what I've got is coarse, and I'm guessing these are fine because that coarse thread quarter wouldn't go in there, so probably something special. We'll check it out. Yeah, just looking at the threads right there, you can pretty much tell that those are fine thread that's in there, and this nut or bolt that I've got is coarse. So we need to go get some different bolts. All right, I got that darn screw out of there. Had to drill it, and then it finally started turning. Probably got hot enough. Tried to heat it on the stove, but that didn't seem to make any difference, but drilling it did, so it worked. I went and got some new bolts. These are M8s /16s, or no, M6/16, so they're actually metric. So the other thing I wasn't sure of is where the solenoid mounts, whether it was on the bottom or the top, and it's obvious it wasn't the bottom because that's got the nuts on there. and you can see the little imprint on the top. So that plugs in right there, so hopefully that won't be too big of an issue. But first we've got to get this mounted back onto the engine, so let's get doing that. So another thing to add to my list is these plungers throughout the coach everywhere do not work very well. So you have to prop everything up, and if you look, you can see on the top right here where the black rubber around here is at. So that's kind of mounted in there a little way, so it hits the door right there. On this side, it's really a pain because they've really got it mounted way over here. So for whatever reason, this thing here should be mounted more in line with this black right here, so that this door can open up all the way. So right now it can't, and it's kind of bending this one right there a little bit because it's putting pressure on there because they've mounted it so far over. Kind of looks like to me that it needed to be mounted the other direction. Anyway, I've got the compartment open here and looking back down on the engine here. So there's the shutoff solenoid, and right kind of where it's sitting is where that other part mounts. And I've got the bolt sitting right up here on the top. This one here, if I can reach it, has a wire hook to it, so it's like a ground or something. So that's why it's sitting right there, but it's right there. So we'll just stick that back in that side and screw that down. They're just snug. They weren't on there very tight, so it doesn't need to be very tight. It just needs to hold the bracket is all it's got to do. We'll go ahead and get that put back on. I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Putting things back on is usually a little bit easier, but now that I said that, it'll be something's gonna happen. All right, now they're nice and tight. Now we just gotta get the bolt so we can put this in there. Okay, squirrel. Ninette took the car, so I can't get my 3/8 socket, so I'm just gonna hold off on that for a minute until she gets back here. So I started working on this. I thought I'd just flip this around and see if this will make a difference. But look how long this screw is I pulled out. I had to check the side of this thing. It's like, man, I didn't think it was that thick, but apparently it is, because there's no hole in the top. So anyway, I'm gonna just take this plate off and flip it around, because this head right here will rotate, and put it out here a little ways and see if that fixes the problem. All right, I couldn't put this back on with this connected, so I went ahead and took it off. It's really easy to, if you look here, there's a little ball joint kind of thing here. And what it does is it just pops into these little connections right there. And the way you get that taken out is right up here at the top is a place where you can put a flathead screwdriver in there. And you just kind of tweak that a little bit, and I don't know if you can really see that, but these things pull out a little bit, and that's what's clamping that in there. So, but now you'll notice that I've got it mounted, which I think will work pretty good. The problem is that we're what, like 3 inches farther. Well, I took the other side off, and I didn't realize there's 2 positions on this. So usually they have one in the center, but this one's either side. So I still can't get it on there because the bed won't go up that high. So I'm gonna go ahead, and I do have a little adjustable wrench here, so I can at least work on this while Ninette's not here yet. And I'm gonna move this up right here a little bit. Ooh, really close now. There we go. Okay, that's still not gonna hold the weight, so gotta get the other side done too. All right, so that'll allow this to go up higher too. Keep it out of the way. And just gotta work on how to prop this up for the time being. There we go. Until we get some new little braces here. These don't cost a lot, but when every one of your doors are that way, it adds up fast. And they all have different pressures, different lengths, so you really need to check them on the sides of the deal. That shows you what they are. So anyway, end of that squirrel. On to fixing the rest of this. Ninette's just showed up, so I'm going to get my 3/8 drive or socket, and then we can get those screwed on there and test the engine out, see how it works. All right, so I went out to the car with the thing, and come to find out, it's not even 3/8. Remember, this was a metric bolt, so it's metric, so it's a number 10 in this case. But I don't know what was actually on there before, and it could have been whatever, because the other one was 5/16, so it could have either been 5/16 or 3/8, just in case you have that issue or not. Okay, I got that bolted back on, and it went on really easy. So it's in place here. So let's go ahead and start it and see how it works. Well, that's a good sign. It started up. Now let's see what happens when we turn it off. Oh, nice. It's working perfect. We only had a little bit of a squirrel there when we fixed this little setup here, but that's working really nice now. And hey, the fuel shutoff is working. Man, life is good. So now the only thing left is in the next video, I'm going to be talking about the ignition switch. Yeah, it's got a problem too. So anyway, thanks for coming along with me on this, and hopefully you learned something, or at least, I mean, I didn't even know there was a fuel shutoff solenoid in this. So see, I learned something. So, and that's how it's going to be going forward anyway, because it's diesel and I've never worked on diesel before. So it's going to be need a lot of you know, research and things like that. And my friend Bill, I still call him a friend, I don't know if he calls me a friend, but anyway, with economic refugees, he's a big help. So I really like reaching out to him, and he's got the same rig, he's just got a year newer, so he's a lot of great information for me. So anyway, it's done and going. So thanks for coming along, and we'll just catch you guys on the next video. So take care.